you always just stare like that?
You get used to it.
A new hero has inherited the Captain America mantle from Steve Rogers, and frankly, the world wasn't ready.
I enjoyed being that person that could sort of fill the shoes of the Marvel punching bag, as I called it.
This CW multiverse ain't big enough for all of you DC superheroes, so it's time to unleash this season's 5-part crossover event that might just end it all.
So this is kind of becoming an annual thing, huh?
God, I hope not.
In Marvel's Black Widow, Scarlett Johansson returns to explore the old life that Natasha left behind to join the Avengers.
I'm done running from my past.
Is it dangerous?
Extremely.
This is Scarlett Johansson, the remarkably versatile actress known for her performances in Lost in Translation, Marriage Story, Jojo Rabbit, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and Wes Anderson's Asteroid City.
How did it look?
Like we're doomed.
Maybe we are.
Too bad, because it totally did. Break down 2019's Arrowverse crossover, Crisis on Infinite Earths, and how Batwoman could play into the chaos.
I'm not about to let a man take credit for a woman's work.
And you won't have to, Batwoman, but the CW is gonna have to make some tweaks to the source material to include you. Beginning December 8th, 2019 on Supergirl, Crisis on Infinite Earths is the 5th annual Arrowverse crossover event. And perhaps the biggest one they'll ever do, considering they'll merge a few classic shows with 6 current series, including first-timer Black Lightning, and of course Arrow, which has its series finale just 2 episodes after the event.
Should I hug it out?
No. And I really mean it this time.
They may want to get their hugs in soon because both Green Arrow and The Flash perished on the pages of the original Crisis on Infinite Earths. Spanning 12 issues in 1985 and 86, writer Marv Wolfman and penciler George Perez wove an epic tale with hundreds of DC characters that reset history for the company's first 50 years by destroying an integral and confusing element that had often defined the brand: the multiverse.
How about the very dumbed-down version?
Sure. Beginning with a 1961 issue of The Flash called Flash of Two Worlds, the DC characters have existed in a multiverse of parallel worlds. Earths 1, 2, X, and Prime, to name a few, where updates or retcons to a superhero's costume or origin story could be explained away as occurring on another Earth in a parallel universe.
You're a monster.
No. I'm Superman.
The multiverse argues he's both. As DC hemorrhaged readers to Marvel throughout the 70s and 80s, Wolfman pitched his crossover saga, Crisis on Infinite Earths, as a way to collapse the convoluted multiverse back into a single timeline to win back fans who couldn't follow which Flash was which.
Nice outfit.
Now, the CW's Arrowverse has been building up to Crisis on Infinite Earths for years, even teasing a huge reveal from the original comic book storyline in the very first episode of The Flash. Ruby Rose, who plays Kate Kane/Batwoman, is the newest comer to the DC squad, and she was introduced in last year's Elseworlds crossover event when Flash and Green Arrow had to figure out why they'd been Freaky Friday'd into each other's bodies.
I'm saying it was more like Quantum Leap.
Well, if this were like Quantum Leap, they'd only look like themselves when they see themselves in the mirror.
Well, it depends on what type of Quantum Leap you're There was a sequel.
Fine, they were quantum leaped. Elseworlds also introduced the Monitor, a godlike being with a magic book that rewrites reality. His meddling had to be unwritten in a showdown of supermen, but he'll be back for the Crisis storyline where his evil counterpart, Anti-Monitor, uses antimatter to destroy parallel Earths.
This world will be doomed, like all the others.
Batwoman does not appear in the original Crisis, as this version of Kate Kane was not created until 2006. The year prior, DC introduced a crossover event sequel called Infinite Crisis, in which Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman must retire their capes, cowl, and bracelets, so then Batwoman, in Bruce Wayne's absence, must become Gotham's new protector.
The suit is literal perfection.
It will be. When it fits a woman.
Naw snap! Although it was The Flash who vanished in the comic book storyline, Grant Gustin's Barry Allen will finish out Season 6 without much to worry about. Yet, as for Arrow coming to an end just after Crisis, the character played by Stephen Amell may already be doomed.
Just one more thing I gotta do.
But no matter what, DC and the CW will make it a come one, come all event to be remembered that will rewrite TV history for how a multiverse should come to an end. Black Widow is the 24th film of Disney's Marvel Cinematic Universe, and the first movie of its Phase 4. But on the timeline of events, we're jumping back to 2016, not long after the big Berlin brawl between Avengers and Captain America: Civil War.
You're not gonna stop.
You know I can't.
I'm gonna regret this.
On the run and with no other allies to turn to, Black Widow, aka Natasha Romanoff, aka Nat, reunites with her ex-KGB family to take on Taskmaster, aka Tony Masters. Wait, T. Masters is Taskmaster? That's barely even hiding his secret identity. That'd be like if Spider-Man's real name was Sal Piderman. What the? Although nothing's been confirmed, the MCU's Taskmaster may actually be Rick Mason, aka The Agent, which is most likely a red herring superhero handle given to throw off fans that the masked villain is being played by Handmaid's Tale actor O.T. Fagbinley. Although Ray Winstone and Dutch bodybuilder Olivier Richter have both been rumored to be under the skull helmet, Fagbinley's Rick Mason is reportedly a former romantic interest of Natasha's before he turned on her. And what better way to turn on your superhero ex than by becoming a supervillain?
At some point, we all have to choose.
The film will likely retcon a lot of Taskmaster's backstory and 40 years of fighting for and against the Avengers. But as far as the comic books go, he debuted in 1980's The Avengers number 195 and took the cover of number 196, in which he battled Iron Man and Captain America before being bested by the robot bride of Ultron, Yocasta.
You're making yourself a girlfriend?
Robot dating is hard, cut him some slack. Anyway, Yocasta was able to win because Taskmaster hadn't studied her moves and committed them to his supernatural photographic memory. As a boy, Masters could copy movements of cowboys, athletes, and superheroes with what doctors called photographic reflexes. Later, he injected a superintelligence serum developed by Nazi scientist Horst Gorscht to increase that power, but it came with some nasty side effects.
I've always found it best not to look into the past.
Well, he kinda can't because the super serum corrupted his memory, and Taskmaster completely forgot about when he was a good guy, fighting alongside S.H.I.E.L.D., training U.S. Agent and Spider-Woman, even being hired by Deadpool to take down the Thunderbolts.
Hey, it's me! Don't scratch! Just cleaning up the timelines.
Expect Black Widow to be filled with twisty character reveals and double-triple secret identities, because Natasha's story is filled with mirror images of herself and other favorite Marvelites such as Red Guardian, played by David Harbour, the Soviet super soldier answer to Captain America.
Still fits.
Florence Pugh's Yelena Belova character is a doppelganger for Natasha, having been trained in the same KGB assassin program, the Red Room. After Romanoff died in the comic books, Belova took the name Black Widow and joined the Avengers, so there's a chance that Pugh will soon join what's left of the super team after Endgame.
Okay, you got a plan, or shall I just stay duck and cover?
My plan was to drive us away.
Not to mention that Taskmaster will be a formidable foe for the Black Widows and friends, since he now mind controls all of the Red Room super assassins and can apparently mimic familiar traits and weapons, like Black Panther's claws, Cap's shield, and even Hawkeye's bow and arrows for some reason.
The city is flying. We're fighting an army of robots. And I have a bow and arrow. None of this makes sense.
The Falcon and the Winter Soldier star, Wyatt Russell, helps us break down John Walker's comic book history.
I'm not trying to be Steve. I'm not trying to replace Steve. I'm just trying to be the best Captain America I can be.
It wasn't going to be the same as Steve. The last thing you'd ever want to do in the world is go, yeah, I'm trying to be like Steve Roth. And that would be a real dumb thing to do. You know, at first it was like, well, I don't know if I'm your guy, if you need me to be who you need me to be. And then they were able to sort of convince me that I was good enough and be able to do what was needed to be done. I had some doubts in myself, I guess, but they helped me get over them. 8 decades of Captain America comic books have seen over a dozen characters wield the shield, including Wyatt Russell's John Walker, aka Super Patriot, aka US Agent, an army vet created by writer Mark Grunwald and artist Paul Neary in 1986 as a villainous counterpoint to Cap's unconquerable patriotism.
Thank you, Captain.
Pretty sure this guy's a war criminal now, but whatever. I have to show these videos. It's required by the state. Let's do it.
Grunwald said he designed Walker by playing the opposite game with Cap. Steve Rogers is a poor northern urban boy, so I'll make a guy from rural, middle-class South. Cap is now old, so this guy will be a real young up-and-comer. Cap has lofty ideals, so I'll make Super Patriot be more realistic and more pragmatic. The germs of these ideas cross over into Russell's take, but he admits that he didn't go deep on the comic book portrayals, as the Falcon and the Winter Soldier team had their own story to tell about Walker.
The art, though, did kind of inspire it. The art of John is different. He's a different vibe. And so that vibe I took, and with Justin Eaton, my stunt performer, he's incredible. He's half of John Walker. He and I came up with sort of a way of being, even fighting and all that kind of stuff that we thought was interesting to bring to the character and make him feel different than Captain America of past.
Although Walker clashes with Falcon and Winter Soldier, Russell hopes that his partnership with Lamar Hoskins, aka Battlestar, portrayed on screen by actor Clay Bennett, will inspire the pair to work out their differences.
He and John work really well together because they have each other's back. They have a history together. Yeah, I think there's a lot everybody can learn from having a good partner, where they seem to understand each other on a deeper level. And I think that Sam and Bucky can learn a little bit.
It's always that last line.
And as Russell puts it, the multifaceted Walker has room to grow within this show and beyond, as he discovers more about his past, perhaps digging into the tragedy that befell the older brother he idolized, a helicopter pilot named Mike who supposedly died in battle. The comic books also detail Walker's retirement from being Cap to become U.S. Agent, a member of the West Coast Avengers, an LA-based branch of the Super Squad that also includes Hawkeye, who we'll soon see in his own MCU series, Hank Pym, who is set to return in 2022's Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, and the Vision, who could potentially be resurrected once again by an even more powerful Scarlet Witch.
I don't understand this power, but I will.
Scarlet pursued acting fervently as a child, with brief appearances in films like North, Just Cause, and she played a judgmental older sister in Home Alone 3.
You've stained the family name.
She got her first lead role in the drama Manny and Lo, which follows two runaway sisters who kidnap someone to take care of them. Then in 1998, Scarlet drew widespread acclaim in the drama The Horse Whisperer. After a traumatic incident, Grace and her horse begin to mend emotionally with the help of an expert horse trainer.
I tried to grab her reins and to get her horse to move out of the way.
Scarlet made an impression in the indie world as well. In the 2001 comedy drama Ghost World, her character Rebecca and her best friend Enid live in a perpetual state of dry cynicism and irony. But as they enter the adult world, their friendship begins to deteriorate.
You'll see. I get totally sick of all the creeps and losers and weirdos.
But 2003 was a big year for Scarlet, with 2 Golden Globe-nominated performances. She played Greet, a peasant maid who becomes a model for a struggling artist in Girl with a Pearl Earring, and Charlotte, a lonely young woman in Japan who finds comfort in a friendship with a fading movie star in Lost in Translation.
Does it get easier?
No.
Scarlet continued to solidify her place in Hollywood as a captivating leading lady, with 2 additional Globe nominations for A Love Song for Bobby Long and Match Point, a crucial role as a magician's assistant in The Prestige, and comedies like The Nanny Diaries and He's Just Not That Into You. Then came Iron Man 2. And with it, the introduction of Natasha Romanoff, aka Black Widow. For the next 11 years, Scarlet's character would evolve from a closed-off, inscrutable spy to a natural leader, ultimately sacrificing herself to save the universe.
The last 5 years I've been trying to do one thing, get to right here. That's all it's been about, bringing everybody back.
Scarlet had an equally impressive film career outside of the MCU. She seduced unwitting humans as an alien in Under the Skin, voiced an ever-evolving, self-aware AI in Her,
I can understand how the limited perspective of an unofficial mind would perceive it that way. You'll get used to it.
and after playing the intellectually turbocharged ass-kicker in Lucy, she got 2 Oscar nominations in the same year for her performances in Jojo Rabbit
And trust without fear, that's what it is to be a woman.
and Marriage Story.
This is who I am, and this is what I'm worth. And maybe it's stupid, but at least it's mine.
From her lauded performances as a child actor to her equally compelling roles in independent and big-budget films, Scarlett Johansson is a classic, magnetic movie star in every sense of the word.